because the New World owes its success to an insistently questioning, skeptical habit of mind which regards all beliefs as guilty till they're proved innocent. And this has had the effect of fatally undermining people's confidence in the old certainties that they used to live by. Today, many people don't know what to believe anymore. I'm what they call a philosopher of religion. As a Christian, I want to know in what form, if any, Christian faith is possible for us today. As a philosopher, I want to know what view of life and what basis for values still remains to us. So in these programs, we're going to pick out a number of key turning points and a number of great thinkers. Tonight's program, for example, will fasten on the moment when the old religious view of the universe finally broke down and the new scientific worldview began to replace it. As we go on, we'll give as much space to the atheists as to the believers, because they deserve it. They too have had to fight for a new philosophy of life and for new values. Now, Matthew Arnold was not just one of those romantic conservatives who wring their hands over what's being lost. He also tried to reconstruct. He wrote books of radical theology. And we'll try to be constructive because we'll tell the story in such a way as to show the shape of the new reality that's emerging. A first hint's going to come in this program because we'll see the very beginnings of a process by which our whole view of life becomes more centered within man, within the human subject. So now, let's make a beginning. Western culture's been so secular for so long that it's not easy to recall what a fully religious view of the world was like. But here's an image of it. I'm at present out in the profane, neutral, public world of the street. But we're about to cross a frontier. Every arch, gate, or doorway symbolizes the transition from one world to another. Lich means body, and the Lich Gate was the place where the corpse rested, waiting to move into its last home. Our space is measured on an abstract metric scale, but these spaces are ordered on a scale of degrees of sacred meaning. The churchyard is an intermediate place between the worlds, where the dead lie sleeping, waiting for the Lord's coming. At the west door of the church, we cross another invisible line and enter the sacred world. The layman taking his place in church becomes part of the same symbolic movement from earth to heaven. He's a member of a pilgrim community who march toward their destination. The crucifix above the chancel screen is yet another symbol of the passage from the earthly to the heavenly worlds. It's through the cross that people pass from earth to heaven. From now on, those who officiate in worship are clad in the white of heaven. Now it becomes steadily more awesome as we come to the railed-off sanctuary. Rising steps indicate increasing degrees of exaltation and holiness. Here are the images of Christ's sacrifice, the reserved sacrament, the very body of Christ, and the perpetual flame of the sanctuary lamp, which represents the presence of God Himself. Now imagine this experience of rising degrees of sacredness, rich interconnected symbolism, hidden analogies and correspondences, sacred powers and influences, all becoming so intense that it governs your whole way of thinking about space and time, about society and the universe. The medieval world was something like that. Where we see the world in terms of mechanisms and mathematics, they saw the world in mythical, magical, religious terms. For them, the supernatural world radiated out a kind of sacred organizing power, which structured all their experience of space and time, the world and society, and the individual's life story.